Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Fail forward. Don't fail backwards.
What is that really?
Really, it's first of all acceptance, knowing that yes, I have failed, but how can I now move on from here? Let me actually take us back to, let's say, when we were little kids and we were being disciplined. And if you're in a particular age set, you know that kabiting used to come thorough and proper. And before you were thoroughly punished or hammered, you were told your sins. This is what you've done.
How would you like to redefine masculinity?
So masculinity should not be about our muscles. I know the word mascu has that physique in it. The physique should be in our mind and in our heart. And one of the things that I need to understand, to redefine, as I'm redefining it, is I'm talking to the man as he stands. I want you to look at the man in your mind. Look at the man. Look at what is on top of his head. It's his crown. As a man, whether the crown is broken or it's not shiny or it's crooked, straighten it. Wear it with pride as a man. Wear your crown as a man. Number two, what is inside your head is your mind. Take care of your mind. Take care about what feeds this channel, because what feeds here is what feeds everything else. So protect your mind.
Welcome back to Women, Words and Wisdom Global. I'm your host, Imani Mwaura. This is the space where we engage, we equip, we empower, and enrich each other to live a fulfilled life. Now, this is part 2 of the conversation that we started, talking about the prize of masculinity. In our last episode, my guests, Duncan, Joshua, and Dr. James really talked about the weight of masculinity. In today's episode, we will look at the healing, the brotherhood, and even redefining strength. So if you're watching this as the first episode, I encourage you go to the previous one so that you're able to catch up. And today's conversation will make a lot of sense. If you watched the last episode, thank you very much and welcome back as we continue on today's conversation. Dunco and Joshua, how does it feel? We talked about the weight last time.
Yes.
Yes.
It actually feels a little bit lighter. The weight is off our shoulders a little bit. And I hope this is going to happen also for most of the men that are watching. That this will be a point where you will feel relief, because you are not what happens to you, you know, so don't carry that baggage through and through.
Awesome. May the weight be lifted.
Yes.
Josh, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel good. Actually, as you said, I mean, the weight is actually out there, and it's just, it feels refreshing, and it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
So, learn to let go.
Learn to let go.
Learn to let go, and everything else will be easier for you.
Yeah. Learn to let go, let it be lighter. And we want to hear from both of you. Both of you have had those moments of loss, moments you mentioned in the last episode, moments when things fell apart, you felt like it's failure defined by the society, but you were able to rebuild and cope with it. So maybe we can start from there, that you share. How have you been able to cope with those moments that you were down and you didn't stay there? How did you deal with it?
Oh, On a personal level, I'd say most of my failures have been quite hard to cope with. It's been crazy. It's not a destination, it's a journey. I am still learning how to cope with most of them, of my failures and my low moments. The first shock that hits you as a man is the fact that you are not Superman. You have failed. So that's the first battle that you have to fight as a man, that I have failed in this area. Let's give a very broad, you have gone through divorce. And this is something that is really weighty. And you're like, you know what? I failed. My marriage has failed and I'm responsible, because no matter what happens, men always take responsibility. They feel, let me not say they take responsibility, but they feel the responsibility in them.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, your business has crumbled. You invested and made not good decisions and the business has ended. The first battle is that facing that failure. And that's what failure looks like to us. So that battle will determine every other way and how you're going to cope with that failure. Because if you do not accept, or you are in denial that you have failed, then everything else rests on the foundation of denial. And everything that is on that foundation of denial will soon crumble. But at the end of the day, when you look at yourself in the mirror and accept that, yes, I have failed. You look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, Dunco, you failed. Not to condemn yourself, but to have a reality or a view of reality in that situation. So number one is accepting that you have failed. Now that becomes your foundation. I have failed. Then, now I am at rock bottom. The only way to go is up. The only way to go is up. So from that failure, from that realization that you have failed, what are the next steps that you're going to take? How are you going to ensure that this does not happen again? Or how are you going to start repairing and making those surgical operations on your attitude, on your character, to ensure that this does not happen again? So, yes, we may fail, but if you do not accept the fact that you have failed, you're not calling yourself a failure. You're not defined by the failure, but you are admitting at that point in time, I have failed. Then the trajectory of where you go from there rests on the foundation that will never be shaken. So accept as a man and then move forward and make the correct adjustments. Sometimes, to be honest, you can fall back and fail again in the same scenario. But as men, we don't allow ourselves to fail the same way twice. If you do so, it becomes now a character issue that you have to deal with. But accepting that you have failed is one of the main things that will help you, guide you, and direct you in the right path of recovery.
Wow.
Yes.
Acceptance.
Yes.
Failure does happen.
Yes.
None of us is exempt from that. It does happen, so we accept. Josh, you told me grace after grass.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Fail forward. Don't fail backward.
What is that really?
Really, it's first of all acceptance, knowing that, yes, I have failed, but how can I now move on from here? Let me actually take us back to, let's say, when you were little kids and we were being disciplined. And if you're in a particular age set, you know that kabiting used to come thorough and proper. And before you were thoroughly punished or hammered, you were told your sins.
They were listening.
This is what you've done, A, B, C, D. And now, because of that, you're going to accept that punishment. So now, put yourself in the same situation right now. You're facing discipline of mistakes you have done in the past that have caused you to be at this particular space or this situation. And you have been at a high place. Grace Now you're the grass, but you need to move from grass to grace. And now, between now that grass and now towards the grace, one, you need to be kind to yourself and accept that, yes, I failed. I have done so many things that were against the norm, but I'm not going to hammer myself to death to this. So be kind to yourself. Second, if let's say some of us have gone through divorce, I would say forgive yourself first. Then truly forgive your partner for whatever it is they made you go through. Forgive them and forget about it. Okay, well, you mean, you'll not really forget about what they took you through, but truly forgive them and also forgive that situation that you are going through. That is now for folks that have gone through the divorce stuff and all that. And it is okay to be a statistic. I told myself from way back, I'll never be a statistic. And geez, it happened. Became one. But that has not held me back from being Joshua, or Joshua, as many call me. Please, life has to move on. Regardless of whatever happened, has happened, you have to move on.
True.
Secondly, if it is for business, allow yourself to go through the processes of re-engineering yourself. In an institution, there is something called process re-engineering. And that is going through the pain points of a problem to resolve it. My background is actually on project management, process improvement, Lean Six Sigma, all that. So the way I approach situations, I would say, is more of a structured way. That's why when I talked about perfection, the past wasn't perfect. But right now, I'm determined to make sure that it is going to be perfect. Because each and every failure, whether it is in business or relationships or anything else, is going to have to go through what I have learned. Re-engineer yourself, re-engineer that business. Let's say if it's a business, I am passionate about the matatu business. Most folks usually say that it doesn't work. But to me, funnily enough, that is where I'm ruthless at. And I know the ins and out of it like the back of my hand. And that's my personal business. I have failed before in the matatu business, and I've come back to it, and I've known what to do. And the pains that I went through, the loopholes that I went through or I saw, came back and refixed that. So even in life, you have to be able to analyze that pain. Allow yourself to go through that pain again and see, where did I go wrong? Then now from that, re-engineer it and close every gap that was there. So look at life as a company of a CEO. How do you actually, or how do you make sure that that institution remains profitable? So in your life, how do you make yourself profitable? How do you make your relationships profitable to you? Actually, not look at it not in the profitable sense of manner, but just look at it as, how are they to you? Are they meaningful to you? Is that person, can you call them at a particular hour? Can they pick up? Can they bail you out? Can they, out of nowhere, say, I know Joshua has an issue. He's going through something right now. And I know if I sent him this amount or this thing, it would help him out. It would not particularly resolve the whole issue, but it will act as a bridge to where he is going. Ask yourself that. Look at your phone book. Scroll it down. Who are those people who can do that for you? And when you are low, at your lowest points, how has your phone, how's your phone been?
Phone book.
Yeah, no, let's be real.
Yeah.
Is it ringing as the times you were up there?
No.
So kindly, the same way that it is quiet right now, make sure that even when you're on top, the phone calls that used to come in, and when you're down, they stopped coming, but the ones that kept coming, kindly make sure that you keep those ones there. And the rest, kindly just block and forget about it. It's life.
Yeah.
You don't have to, hakuna kubembelezana hapa mazi. Ni life.
Yeah.
Kama huku wako ka niko down, usijaribu kujasa ile niko on top. Hiyo simu yako sitachukua. Ndalenga live. Sabu, you're not there. Why should you be there now that I'm at the grace again? But when I was grass, soil, manure.
You forgot me. Yeah.
Same thing. Angalia watu wa Manu.
I will not allow that. I will not allow him to continue with that statement. I will not allow. There are people who are allowed to talk about Manchester United. This is not one of them. Please, Imani, continue with your question.
I will take it up. I will take it up.
Let Imani continue.
But I guess we understand what we're saying. You see, forgive yourself, forgive the other people and the situation, be kind to yourself, make your relationships meaningful, and note those people. And once you do that, at least you'll have, and also remember the foundation that Dunco said. That foundation, remember it. And once you have that, at least you'll know. And keyword, process reengineering. Re-engineer yourself, re-engineer your situations. And with that, at least you'll have a fighting chance of healing. Remember, this is just looking, analyzing it, the situations. And then now, once you have that, you'll be able to start healing.
Yes.
And as you heal, then you'll be able to be accommodative. There will be space now in your heart, your system, to be able to accommodate other people. If it's relationships, if it's business, you'll have new innovations of ideas and things that can be able now to make you a man. Because remember, you're a man. The responsibility is here. And even in relationships or even at anything that you pursue, there is no room for failure. And you cannot fail. That's what we've been taught. But you'll always fail. But learn to fail forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joshua, for that. We are not talking about Manu here. Over to you, Dunco. Based on all these things that we have talked about, how would you like to redefine masculinity? How would you redefine what healthy masculinity looks like?
I think healthy masculinity first has to deal with the facade and all those limitations. For me, redefining masculinity means standing as a man who is not afraid to fail, who is not afraid to be vulnerable, and a man who talks. The biggest challenge of men is talking. But I realize that in the talking, that's when, like you had talked about, you said that a problem shared is half solved. So masculinity should not be about our muscles. I know the word mascu has that physique in it. The physique should be in our mind and in our heart. And one of the things that I need to understand, to redefine, as I'm redefining it, is I'm talking to the man as he stands. I want you to look at the man. In your mind, look at the man. Look at what is on top of his head. It's his crown. As a man, whether the crown is broken or it's not shiny or it's crooked, straighten it. Wear it with pride as a man. Wear your crown as a man. Number two, what is inside your head is your mind. take care of your mind. Take care about what feeds this channel, because what feeds here is what feeds everything else. So protect your mind. Make sure that your thoughts are always positive about you, your family, your business, everything around you. Number 3, if we go down, your eyes, what are you seeing as a man? You need to have clear vision as a man to see yourself in places of influence and places where you're influencing people the right way. You're guiding people in the right way. Your mouth, what are you talking? If you talk negative about your wife, trust me, she will be negative. If you talk negative about your business, it will fail. If you talk ill of yourself, you have only yourself to blame. Look at your heart. The Bible says, guard your heart, because out of it flows the issues of life. What are you perceiving in your heart? Faith is the number one thing that will help you guard your heart from the issues of life. Please note, the Bible talks about the issues of life. It does not talk about superficial things, because life indeed does happen to you. Your hands, as a man, masculinity does not talk about harming or beating or always defending. No, these same hands are used to build. So whatever you hold with your hands, know that God gave you the power to build. So work at it as if you're working for the Lord. Build, put it, like, use your hands for embracing, for nurture. And I know it's not in our nature to be nurturing as men, but that's why we have 2 hands and broad shoulders. Our feet, make sure where you walk as a man, where you stand as a man, you are actually the authority, and you claim that, and you stand representing the high priest that you are as a man. Whether you are married, whether you're not married, whether you have failed or you are not failing, whether you're going through failure, remember your 2 feet will hold you, and you'll stand in places that God has called you to transform society and thinking. Remember, life is not about the magnitude of your problem, but the attitude you have towards that problem. So to me, Imani, that is modern day masculinity.
Wow. Life is not about the magnitude of your problem,
Yes.
but the attitude
Yes.
that you carry.
Yes.
Gosh, I feel like calling an altar call right now for the men.
yeah.
That was a sermon right there.
Yeah.
And thank you for speaking to the men.
Yes.
I'd like you to speak to the women.
Wow.
And Joshua will also do this.
Right.
What role can women play in this healing of masculinity
Wow.
and redefining that masculinity?
Right.
What role can women play?
Oh, your role as a woman is quite huge. Quite huge. There are 2 people in the Bible that God talks about. The Proverbs 31 woman and the Ephesians 5 man. These have outlined exactly what you should be. I don't know why, for the first time in our lives, we have a Mwakenya and we are not using it. Imagine, you know the exam is coming. You've been given the Mwakenya, but you ignore it and then wonder why you're failing. I'm telling you, women, your place in this masculine scenario is quite huge. Number 1, do you see me as a man? Do you see me? I'm not talking about visual, but through the optics, through your mind, through your heart. Am I a man? And what have you been taught a man is in your life? So 1, you need to see men. Women need to see men. And not only, I'm not talking about visual, but seeing us is actually recognizing our authority. That's where we stand. Number 2, what do you speak over over men's life? What words do you use over our lives? Or what do you speak about us? How do you speak about us? How do you define us? I can give you examples. There's this phrase that says all men are dogs. Carnally, people say that. And many ladies say that. All men are dogs. Trust you me. If this is something that you keep saying in your life, then you will attract all the dogs, because I kid you not. If you say all men are dogs, or is your father one? Is your brother one? Is your husband one? Because you need to understand what you speak. The mouth has life. What you speak has life. And so if you speak dogs into men, then they will be dogs. What about if you change the narrative?
True.
look at it this way. Speak life into that man. And people don't understand. The Proverbs 31 woman who wakes up early, she does her job, she secures a piece of land, she takes care of her family. What does it say the man is doing? Because that's where the Mokenya is. The man is seated at the gates. And the men around him are admiring him because of how the woman has honored him. And so all he does is sit and praise his wife. Women, if you allow yourself to humble yourself before a man, first to God, then to your man, trust you me, your man will go even lower. Men can attest to that. But women don't wait to see that. And there is no condition of respect, love, and humility. There is no condition. Whether there is no condition. God did not say, therefore, woman, humble yourself if your man loves you. There is no if. So, as women, how do you see us? What are the thoughts that come when you see us? There's someone who's watching right now. A lady, you're watching me, and probably you're from talking very ill of your husband to your colleagues. And in the office, you're seeing how men are taking charge of the boardrooms. And you're saying, ule wangu wa Netflix and chill, that one is not a man. These are men. These leading operations and projects. Let me tell you, that will only lead you astray. So women, play your role. Number one, this man is like a child to you. If you had a boy, a son, how would you speak life over them? Then that's how you see men.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Picture yourself as the nurturing parent of this man. So what you speak really matters. And for me, I think that is...
On behalf of all the women, I take up the challenge.
Amen.
What you see in the man and what you speak to the man. It really, really matters. Women, the wisdom of today. Joshua, speak to the women.
Wolan, piggyback on this real quick. That committee that women have, their friends.
Chama.
See, Chama.
Oh, okay.
There is a committee of close and in the circle. Kindly, as women, if you actually, the ladies watching to this, not everything about your life and your husband is supposed to be known by them. Because nothing good will come from them. Even your sisters actually, they'll spoil your marriages, thinking that they're giving you the best advice, yet they're leading you astray, only to leave you with a broken home and really a cold bed at night. Now, one thing I would say is pray over your home and your husband. Pray over him, cover him when he steps out of that door and when he comes back in. Let him feel like he's a king. Let him feel loved. Let him feel cared for. Let him have no reason to go out there and share his problems and worries, or actually being vulnerable to other women. Let you be that woman. But also that depends on how do you view him. Is he your man? And how do you want to take care of him? That way, no other person can be able to take care of him. Secondly, there is a song that came out about let's say a month or 2 months ago by a brother of mine called Tosh, called Sijibiwi. I would want you to go listen to that song. Listen to it on YouTube and actually just let the words that are there. It's a Sheng song. It's a very relaxed song, but in it are deep words of a man who's going through a struggle, Yet, the girlfriend or the wife or his girl are not in that vibe. They are not in the same space because he asks questions he's never answered. You, as a lady, you are assuming that we know what you want. Kindly speak. We are not mind readers. Tell me, I want A, B, C, D. And I will be that A, B, C, D. Also, love me unconditionally. Your love should not be whether because I'm giving you casho or not. It's supposed to be unconditional. Let's say if I lose my job and you're the one who's earning, let me not hear that because you bought me a pair of socks. Let me not hear, sabu sasa nilikununulia, Let me not hear that talk. That already will put me down. If you're the one who's paying the bills at that time that I'm down, let me not feel that because you're paying these bills, now you've taken over the crown of being the man in that house. And just because, let's say, you have been doing better for a while and I've been trying to make it, don't put me down. Encourage me. Be that person that you can see my tears and still hug me and tell me, hey, baby, I got you. I got you. Because if you tell me that you got me when I'm at my lowest or I'm at the grass, oh, believe me, I'm riding with you till when the wheels fall off when I'm on my grace. And no other woman will actually come to me or even get to be a distraction to me. Because why do men have those distractions? It's because what our homes are supposed to be our safe places. My girl is supposed to be my safe place. But if my girl is no longer my safe place, I will find another safe place. Either it will be alcohol, a side chick, and let's say even my company will change. And so long as I don't have to do all this, I don't have to be at a bar to be felt so that my views can be actuated. I don't have to have a side chick so that she can massage me when when I don't even have to talk about it. I need you to just listen, be that listening, be that girl. When I talked to you on our first date, when we were going through our courtship, remember those days? Remember that time that you fell in love with me? Let us get to that point whereby even at my lowest point, you still are in love with me. And I'm still in love with you. And we can still be able to talk. And I can still be able to come to you and I tell you, Maze, leo nimesota. Leo I've had the worst day. And you'll just hug me. And sometimes all we need, men are big babies. All we need is a big hug. And just, that part that just touches your back and you just feel everything is okay.
Yeah,
I need that from that lady. Wow. If you do that, best believe me, all these things that are out here, in the evil world out here, will no longer be there again. Yeah. Or you will be there, but your man won't be a part of it.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Simple things.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh. Again, on behalf of women, we hear you. We provide safe spaces. Let's provide safe spaces for our men, not only spouses, but even our sons, our brothers. Let's provide safe spaces where they can be vulnerable without being judged, without us discussing them, in those meetings we have. Tumesikia hayo. Thank you very much. We will take a little detour and get to hear from Dr. James Wanjagi. He was not on set, but here is what he had to say.
Thank you very much for this continued conversation around the price of men and the masculinity around that. And I think we've been talking a little bit about men being vulnerable and what that means in a society that sometimes does not accept that level of vulnerability. And we've also been talking about what are some of the consequences of that vulnerability or lack of, and how can our wives, our spouses, our partners help us. But more importantly, what are some of the things that we can share with Gen Zs and the generation that is coming after us so that we don't make the same mistakes. So a couple of things to note is that I think the shift has begun. There's a lot of research that is showing, for example, there's a research that shows that the 16-year-old to 24-year-olds are now more willing to talk about some of the issues that they are going through, including being okay to cry. However, the same research is saying that 28% of those people don't do it. So there's a disconnect between the culture and the actual action. There's also the issue around even when you're vulnerable, will your friends see it? Will your friends understand it? Will your friends support that vulnerability? You see, we talked about where men such as myself and in our generation, we were told to man up. In fact, there's research that shows that by 14 years old, men in our generation already knew that silence was golden. But in the process of being silent, you died in isolation, so to speak. And, additional research showing that by the time you got to 65, a lot of men were passing on. In fact, research was saying that men died 5 years earlier than women. And a lot of this has to do with the silence of not speaking up, not being vulnerable, not sharing what is going on in your life, not accepting the support, or even discussing mental health issues. So some of the things that we can do, especially this generation, is talking to each other. And I call it the 3-mate rule. So what does that mean? It is okay to look for a friend and ask them very clearly, how are you doing? What's your mental health like? And if you do that every week, 1 or 2 of them will answer. But the more we do that, the more we're giving license to be able to discuss issues around being vulnerable and issues that are around mental health. I think that's one of the things that can be done. In group settings, when we find ourselves in group settings, there is the opportunity to step toward a friend of yours and ask them specifically and directly, how are you doing? Making it a very core moment between your relationship. And then after that, you can go back to the laughter. And that's important so that they know that you are part of their life and you're supporting them when things are not going as they should. There is also the aspect of looking for help when you need help. It's very easy to stay alone and to be vulnerable in isolation. But when you have chosen to ask for help, that help often will come, and it will probably mean the difference between you suffering and you getting the help that you need. What can our women do for us? Our wives, our partners, girlfriends, it's important for them to give us the opportunity to speak. So if you're having a conversation and you notice that there's something around being vulnerable, around my mental health that you need to ask me about, ask the question and then wait for the answer. In fact, one research was saying count 1 to 10. And by the time you get to 10, because most men do not like silence, they will bring up whatever is going on. And if you do this long enough, you're giving them space to be able to be vulnerable. You're giving them space to be able to talk about what is going on. Now, also allow them their space when going through their own issues. You see, once a man has a remote, has food in his stomach, probably has a bed, and has his wife, partner, girlfriend next to him, that gives him the comfort that he's looking for. And over a period of time, if he learns to trust you, then he learns to open up. And when he opens up, you help him with the process, not the event. So you don't say, oh, you've done a really good job. You want to provide feedback along these lines. I'm grateful that you've shared this with me. How else can I help you? And that kind of relationship, that kind of conversation eventually will bring more comfort, will bring more security. The man will feel more secure and will be more vulnerable around you. We need to move away from this idea that men cannot be vulnerable. We need to move away from this idea that men do not cry. It's important for us to open up our hearts. And there is a generation that is already suffering. It's important that this coming generation does not suffer like the generation that suffered. Open up, speak to each other. Don't get angry to the point that you harm each other in a relationship. Step out. But also learn to be vulnerable, to open up your heart, to open up and request for help when you need it. We're in this age of mental health conversations. Take a step towards help when you need it. And I guarantee you that we are going to build a better generation than the generation that has since gone behind us.
Wow, that was very powerful from Dr. James Wanjagi. The wisdom there, I believe it will help all of us to navigate through life even as we deal with the men in our lives. I will also ask Dunco and Joshua to give us their parting shot. We'll start with you, Josh.
Well, thank you once again for this opportunity. It has been very fruitful and I appreciate it. And yeah, let's keep communicating and let's see how, where life takes us. Now, particularly on this, there's one thing that I would like to say, actually to you ladies, because this is about, yes, men, but you are our helpers. Let me tell you that we may forget what you said to us or what you told us, but each and every man always remembers how you made them feel. So let's get that and remember we have feelings too. And we want to love you better. We want to have safe spaces in our houses, in our homes. And in all these, let us remember that God should always be first in our lives. And let's have a personal relationship with God.
Wow. People may forget what you say, but how you made them feel. That's very powerful. Thank you, Josh.
Yes.
Dunco.
Yes, I just want to read a phrase, and I'll leave it at that. I'll speak to the men, and this cuts across both men and women. No matter how far you have fallen or how long you have struggled, grace still has your name on it. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to keep walking, keep growing, and keep learning on the one who restores us. And that's my parting shot.
Wow. I will not even dare repeat it, but I will listen to it.
That's right.
Grace has your name. Grace has my name. Whew, that was quite an episode. And thank you, gentlemen, for accepting to be here, for sharing wisdom, for sharing life with us. That's incredible. And I totally, totally appreciate. And for all the men who are watching, your story matters. Your vulnerability is not your downfall. It's your doorway to freedom. And to every woman, may we hold space, may we listen deeper, and may we love stronger. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. If this conversation has spoken to your heart, share it with a man out there, and even a woman. There's a lot of wisdom for us here. Share it out there. Remember, if you've not subscribed, help us grow this community. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We look forward to our next episode. Be with us and spread the vibes of Women, Words, and Wisdom Global. God bless you.